All right, so I've got my hidden history of Oz map, and where it stands right now with me having made some changes is this. So I've gotten rid of most of the surface details that are not necessarily part of what would be the topography. That said, there's a little bit more, and just a couple of quick thoughts on this. So thus far, I've done various things like I've done a little bit of smudging, right? But if I do that, of course, all that's doing is smearing things around. So that doesn't always help. I can go ahead and I can erase, but sometimes that erasing leaves clear marks. So that's not always what we want. I can use the cloning tool, of course. And as we saw, that can be a little bit hit or miss. It also depends on what level of quality we want, but that's not always going to work for us. So, one other quick thought is that let's zoom in a little bit more. I can sometimes just copy and paste things. So if I just select this area and I just do a quick control copy, control C, and if I move this over a bit and I do a control V, sometimes that can end up giving us very nice results. I'm going to try that again though. Still not quite what I wanted. So I'm going to try that one more time. See if I can get it a little bit cleaner looking. So control copy, control V, and much cleaner look. All right. So something to bear in mind. I wonder, let's see if I can cheat this. And oh, that didn't work. And I didn't think it would. So let's, in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and grab the eraser and erase that. And we'll call that looking much better. So another example, though, let's actually go up a little bit. So let's zoom back out a little bit. And let's take a look at a few other quick thoughts. So one of the things is, you know, just talking topographically, these trees could be at any particular level. The topography, um, would be the actual ground level, the level that the hills might get to, or how tall the mountains may or may not be. The fact that the rivers and water features are going to be a little bit lower than whatever the surrounding area is. Um, but those are specific features that are carved into the landscape. Whereas things like the trees or even the road is actually a great example. That's going to basically go along the contour of whatever the land is. Whatever the height of the land is, that's where the road is going to be, where there's a road. So a good example would be, like right in here, where okay, you've got this road going through the woods, and then it gets into the foothills and goes up, up, and over and through the mountain pass, and then gradually back down into the foothills. And then maybe somewhere over here, as it approaches the river, it gets to a lower level again. So these roads actually can go. And of course, just like I've done with the other things, there's any number of approaches I can take. I can go ahead and I should probably select everything if I'm going to erase over here. I can go ahead and I can erase, uh, or I can go ahead and I can, do the just delete things out, box selecting and deleting, or we can go ahead and I'm going to zoom in a little bit actually first, but I can do a little bit of cloning right here, and in this case, I can be a little bit, uh, I guess, for lack of a better term, sloppy about it. I don't have to be precise because later on I'm going to basically take these mountain shapes and just use them as points where I'm going to create some gradations in value in that same area. So these mountains are not an exact thing really as they stand, at least not in my mind. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll just grab the cloning tool, and well, let's take down the size of my brush, make it a little bit smaller. Something like that seems pretty reasonable. So I'll just go ahead and I will push Control and establish that that's where the brush source is. And I will just come in here and I will start to just get rid of that yellow brick road. And basically all I'm looking to do is just kind of change these values a little bit. Nothing too fancy, but just the idea is that later on, depending on what I'm doing or how I'm doing things, I've gotten rid of that brighter light yellow that's going on. And then I guess the one other thought might be, let's see, okay, the river going under the road. Of course, simply erasing the road won't help me there because I've got the river will be missing. So basically, as far as that goes, I'll just go ahead and I'll do a color selection for the moment, and I'll grab a brush tool, and I will just go ahead and I will draw in, color in, whatever. I could probably go with a wider brush instead of having it sitting at, 4 wide, and just kind of fill that in so that I've got something that at least kind of represents what the river would be. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit with that, and we'll see where we get after that.